extremely important to understand why things are happening. So let's talk about how a bank actually works and why these cryptocurrency exchanges are collapsing. It's all about leverage. So what is a bank? A bank is a place where you place your money, they dam up your money, and they make it liquid, right? Banks have reserve requirements. So a bank only has to keep 10% of your money, and the rules have actually changed since 2020. But we'll stick with the 10% rule. So when you go to a bank, you deposit your hard-earned money, they take your hard-earned money and they lend it out to the next person walking in. So you've worked a tough 40-hour shift, you deposit and trust the bank to hold your money, and they lend your money to Susie walking in. They give Susie a credit card, an auto loan, or a home loan. Or maybe she gets a personal loan and she takes a $10,000 personal loan and takes it to her bank. Now that bank gets to lend that money out as well. So now your hard-earned money has been lent out twice, and this can continue about 9 times. So the very bank that dams up your money takes your money and earns interest off your hard-earned work. So let's talk about what's happening in the financial system. There's a massive liquidity crisis. Since every time you walk into a bank or every time you put your money into a cryptocurrency exchange, hence FTX, Celsius, things like that, what they do is they take your money, they lend it out, or they invest it to make yield. So when shit hits the fan, everybody's card gets called. So that's what's happening right now. Companies, crypto, banks, I own multiple companies. Everybody's cards are being called because we had so much access to cheap money for a long enough period of time that we could borrow our way out of trouble. And remember, the number one cost is employees. So this, in the crypto space and what's happening in banking, isn't just going to affect your banks and your money, it's going to affect your job. Now what you're about to see in the next 12 months is banks, companies that did not have capital reserves about to get smashed. So expect to see more exchanges fall. Expect to see smaller banks falter, and expect to see your companies laying people off because they can't borrow their way out of this problem now. So being a CEO of a company, we always make sure we have a healthy balance sheet. We have very little debt for our companies. We operate with cash as much as possible, and we continue to expand the depth and breadth of our businesses without using credit. During these times, when interest rates were low, hell yeah, we'd use credit to buy more assets to make more yield. So I hope these videos will help you understand what's actually happening. So every time I get paid, I always take a portion and invest to grow that money, just like the banks do with my money. And that's why they're trying so hard to get all these decentralized fintech companies underneath the system. Warriors, rise! Get your shit together. Let's go. Love you guys. Link in bio for support.